So I totally blocked the go live button when I just rearranged some stuff so that I would have room for everything and be able to use my little overhead camera here. I moved some things around and completely blocked the go live button. And so there was a whole, I was talking to you and I'm not entirely sure that, you heard it. I think I might have been talking to myself. Alrighty then. So good morning. It looks like good morning Monique and good morning Monica. Hello, or good noon for those of us who live in the noon in the 12:01. Good morning, good afternoon. Hello, that works too. So water. Today when I was I have some samples to show you for the classes that I'm going to be teaching in Chicago at the beginning of May, and we are going to, those classes will eventually be available online, not recordings of me doing them in Chicago, but like I'm going to make them online classes as well. So those will eventually happen online. Molly Bean says it is 10 a.m. in Utah, definitely. And happy noon, says Monique. Yeah. So, as you can see in the description of this video, I was going to talk a little bit about the classes that I'm teaching. I have some sample-ish things here. And remember, in the description of the video as well, you can see the link to where you can get free tickets for going to the Fiber and Fabric Craft Festival in Chicago at the beginning of May. 9 a.m. for Monica, yep. And like I said, those classes I will eventually get to, I will make some online versions of those classes as well. That has been on my list here. And then also, oh shoot, this is what I get for, I wrote it down in the description and now, oh yeah, I was going to tell you about the funny theater. Look, I'm sewing for theater again. I knew there was something else and it's hiding right back there. So first I have to show you, look what I stumbled upon today. Okay. Ha! Isn't that awesome? Okay, that's like near me. Okay, and it's on Friday, and there's going to be, look, Corey Feldman. Oh my gosh, Corey Feldman. I am such a dork. Okay, I am in love with Corey Feldman. He is awesome. He is amazing. You know, he's just Corey Feldman, and yeah, you know, yeah, us Gen X, Goonies generation. Yeah, this is all. I really want to go. I don't think it's going to happen, but I really want to go. Apparently, I sent the link to my husband, and my husband and my son. We have a little. I guess I could have sent it to the whole family one that includes my daughter. We have one with just my husband, my son, and I for like stuff that deals with, you know, when somebody coming home or whatever. Since my daughter is away at college, and my son still is living at home while going to college because he's going here anyway. But yeah, I sent this to the three of us, and my husband replies, "Oh yeah, I saw that the other day. That would be fun." And I'm like, "Buy me tickets, buy me tickets, buy me tickets." But you know, it's our money, so I guess it's not. You know, I could buy us tickets too. I think I just wanted permission to spend the money. Not that you all know me. I don't need we don't do that whole permission to thing, but it's like it's a bit of a splurge. So yeah, it's I'm sure not going to happen, but especially because they're, you know, it's all the seats are like on the edges left at this point because it's on Friday. Anyway, so but I saw that and I was like, yay! So because, you know. All right, so the Stitching Hope Lounge, the Fiber and Fabric Craft Festival, and I've told you already that I'm running the Stitching Hope Lounge, and then I am also teaching some classes. So let me go to here again. There we go, so you can see me. So I'm actually teaching 3 classes, and I'm going to show you a little bit the samples, and those classes I will make online. I'm thinking this first one, whether they're going to be for sale online or free online or a mixture, like, you know, the some of it is free, but then like if you want the handouts or whatever, I don't know. I have to figure that out, how it's all going to work. And it's going to vary from class to class. You know, some of the really simple things might just be like a little tutorial on my website, and then it's like, here, if you would like, you know, handouts and templates and blah blah blah, then you can get those downloads here, you know, and those might have a price or whatever on them. I don't know, I'll figure it out. But I'm going to show you what those classes are going to be. So here I have one paper class. This is a little journal bookmaking class, right? And it's really easy because you can just use half sheets of 8.5 by 11 paper. So you take 8.5 by 11 paper and cut it in half. So it is 8.5 by 5.5. And you fold those, and it's just one signature, so one stack of paper. Okay, and we poke the holes, and we're making this fun little journal, notebook, whatever. And the cover is a half of a sheet of 12-inch scrapbook paper. So you can see it was, when you fold that directly in half, it's obviously a lot longer. The 12-inch square scrapbook paper is 12 inches square. So when you have fold the 8.5 by 5.5 piece in half for the pages, you end up with 4.25. But when you fold the 12-inch by then 6-inch piece in half, you end up with 6-inch square, right? So 4.25 here, 6 inches here, gives you a little bit of extra. And so that's where I folded over the two ends. This one I just did evenly. So I folded it in half, and then I folded over the two extra ends, leaving a little bit of a lip here, you can see. And I used double stick tape or glue, I don't remember which, but either one works, so that this is a pocket on both sides. You can also not glue one or both, and they can become bookmarks. You can see that when I sewed it together with the waxed linen, when I got to the top, I added on 2 more colors of waxed linen and braided those together to make a bookmark and with a little dangle on it. So when I have the class, I'm going to make a few more samples, and I'm going to show some different things you can do. If you maybe fold it, you can fold it so that the edge of one of the pieces of the scrapbook paper is at the front or the back, and so all of the extra is on the other side. And then you can have a bigger pocket. You can do an angled pocket. You can do some fancy things with some of the pages. So maybe like the middle page would be a little different. You can you could take, like, for the middle page, you could fold it in half, but then don't cut it at the half point. So if it was folded in half, here, we'll just use this little scrap of paper I have over here. Pretend like it's the full length of the page here. And so if I took this piece of paper, if this was my 8.5 by 11 paper, and I folded it in half, then instead of cutting it in half to make this piece of paper, what I would do is then maybe fold this in half again and cut it here, so that now when I put it in my book, it's actually those pages right there. If I have little, like, sliding in parts, or I can even glue this down and they have, like, total pocket parts. So there's various things you can do. There's a fun little origami box that I'm gonna see. I might do a couple little origami directions. There's a little origami, what's it called? And I might have the link for it. Let me go over here to my screen. Okay, so here is my website, right? And under craft tutorials, you can look at origami patterns. I think I have the pattern on here. Let's see. I might not. If not, I'll have to make it. But I've done it before and glued it onto the inside cover of the cover of a book, because it opens up. Yeah, the origami money packet. So you can make one of these, right? And glue it onto the inside cover of your book, because, let's see, scrolly, blah, 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 blah. Am I going to actually show that it holds things inside? Not do that. No, I didn't do that. Okay, so you can actually, once it's all together like this, right, you can open it up inside and see out of it. And so you can do that, and it'll have things that it holds. Actually, I might have actually used a different one when I made these on the insides of book covers. I'll have to take a look and see what I did. There's another one, I think, that kind of opens up more to like a lidless box. And maybe that's what I did. So I might do. What am I doing? That's not what I wanted. Woo! Pop to there, and what I wanted was, ba-dum-bum. There we go. Oh, that works too. So I'm going to a couple of ideas for different ways that you can make, your decorative pages, or different things you can do with the two ends of your since your scrapbook paper cover is 6 inches by 12 inches, and it only needs to be 6 inches by 9 inches at the most, right? So you have like an extra 3 inches. So I'm going to do a couple ideas of what you can do with that bit, and also a couple ideas of what you can do with some of the pages to make special pages. And then we'll also have, in addition, I'll have fun decorative paper for the covers, for the kits, but then I'll also have like fun stickers and stuff if people want to decorate it, and we'll talk about different things like that. So that is one class, and that's like a really basic, simple, you don't need experience class, like kids can get. It's something that I'll probably have the tutorial for free on the site, but then it'll like link to, okay, well, here's how you make this origami thing that you can glue onto the inside of your page, inside of your cover to put stuff in, and all that sort of stuff. So there's that. Then I have a class that is tips and techniques for professional looking crochet, and that one it's really a compilation of a lot of different tutorials and such that I have on my site. So that one, again, what I might do for that is maybe do like a blog post that says, here's links to the different things that I have tutorials for. And then, like, if you really want, a part of the class is that you can bring in something that you have that you're not happy with, or that needs to be finished, or whatever, and we can talk about how to make it look a little better, how to give it a more professional finished look. So the online version of that would be a blog post with like the links to the various things that you need to know how to do, or that are helpful to know how to do to have professional looking crochet, and then a reminder that you can come to our sit and stitches that happen on usually usually the first 4 Wednesdays of the month. We have a sit and stitch. Sometimes one of them is canceled for whatever reason, but usually the first 4 Wednesdays, did I say Monday? Usually the first 4 Wednesdays of the month we have a sit and stitch. Today's is from 6 to 8 Eastern time, so it is currently 12:30-ish. Every single one of my clocks, 12:14, is hidden by something right now. It is, except for my watch, it's right here. Ta-da! 12:14. So it is currently 12:14 Eastern time. So in just under 6 hours from now, it will be 6, and that is when our live Zoom sit and stitch is. So no matter what your time zone is, in 5 hours and 45 minutes from now is when the sit and stitch will happen. It's first Wednesday of the month is from 7 to 9. Second Wednesday of the month it's from, I think, from 1 to 3. Third Wednesday, which is where we are right now, it's from 6 to 8, and fourth Wednesday, it would be from 2 to 4. I might have the 1 to 3 and the 2 to 4 back mixed up. I'm not entirely sure. But it's all under the events calendar on my website, and I am working on getting back to sending my newsletter weekly. I'm going to start sending it on Tuesdays. I did send one yesterday. And forgot to put in the reminder about today's live stream and today's sit and stitch. So on my to-do list for today, after this, and before the sit and stitch, is to make a new template for my newsletter. And when I make a little template for my newsletter, it will include the reminder about the live stream that we have right now at noon on Wednesdays, and the sit and stitches. So that way, when you get the newsletter, you'll also be able to see when everything is happening. Monica asks, did I have someone teach me how to do the origami and bookmaking, or did I figure it out by myself? Well, origami, my grandmother, my father's mother, was Veda Beetler, and she was a very well-known jewelry designer, and she was just an all-around amazing artist. And I moved to Ohio, which is where she lived, when I was 8, and we moved there the summer before third grade. We moved there the summer before third grade, and she was touring Europe, looking at various art and getting inspired and everything. And then she came back. She came back right before the beginning of the school year, and I started school. And then that year in December, she passed away unexpectedly. So she was going to teach me everything she knew. I was going to be her protege, her apprentice, and I was going to become a famous jewelry designer just like her. And she started off with origami. Since she passed away just a few months after I had moved to Ohio, and we really didn't get a whole lot past that. So origami has always been something that's been very, very special to me from that. This is actually one of the rings that she designed. It's one of her rings that she made. And as far as bookmaking, that I've taken some classes at medieval events, and I've done stuff on YouTube and online. And there is a site, Vintage Papers. Here, I'm going to find it on Facebook here, and then I'll share that. We'll pop over to that screen. Let's see. It's just going to take a second because, again, everything is slow when I'm live. Let's see. I think it's Vintage Pages Designs. V-I-N. Hopefully that will be enough. What the heck did it just do? No idea. I think I maybe clicked an ad. Let's try that again. It's really the lady who runs this site is amazing, and she does really wonderful tutorials. Vintage Page Designs. Okay, so it's called Vintage Page Designs. She has a website. She has a Facebook page. She does a handmade book club. Let's see. Yeah, she does a handmade book club. I'm not sure how often they happen, but if you follow her on Facebook, here, I'll share the screen real quick. So if you're on Facebook, I would follow her. Vintage Page Designs. Allie is her name, and she lives in the States now, I believe, but she's English, so she has a little English accent. I don't really know that matters or not. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it's just, I happen to love listening to her speak. So she does various little bookmaking demos and stuff. She has a wonderful YouTube site, and she has mini classes. She has a membership, and if you really want to learn a lot about bookmaking, I would join her membership. You know, and even if like you join it for a month, you get some stuff out of it, and then you turn it off and you wait several months before you join again or whatever. Whenever she does a class, usually if she does one of these bookmaking club things, I'm scrolling here, it's going to take a while for things to show up. But every once in a while she runs a bookmaking club where it's like a week-long thing, and you can join it for like $5 or $10, which is amazing. And then at the end of it, she'll usually have like a discount to join the her website membership thing, her membership on her website, and that will and so that's a really good, the Handmade Book Club, and that's a really good way to join her membership. You get a little bit of a discount. You might want to join for, like I said, maybe you join for just like a month or two, and then you cancel your membership, and then you wait until there's another fun class you want to take. You take the class, you get the discount for a little. I don't know if you can get the discount more than once. I'm really not sure. But anyway, you do it, you know, because it's like I'll go through a period where I'll be like, I want to learn all the things. So I'll join the membership and learn a bunch of stuff, and then I'll end it and I won't join it again for a few more months before I do it again. When times are better, I'll join it, and, you know, as financially, I might join it and stay joined for a little while, because I feel like, you know, she's worthy of that money, because I learn a lot from her. But yeah, she's amazing. So if you want to get into bookbinding, I really like Vintage Page Designs. But there's a lot of stuff you can do for free also on YouTube. It's just nice. The organization, like, in her site is really great. So she's awesome. I like that stuff with her. All right, let's see. I'm going to now, like, as we were talking about the the tips and techniques for professional looking crochet. So I've started making some new, I've taught this class before, but I'm updating it, and I've been making some new samples. So, like, upside down, hiccups. All right, so you can, if you look at this, you can see here is like the traditional way of doing rows of single crochet. This one is a little different, and then here is my little tip, and you can see how the edges are neater. Okay, it's a straighter edge here. Okay, and then this one is half double crochet. So there's a couple different ways. Let's see, here we go. So this one, you can see this one is the traditional way, and it's got these little, you always get these little holes at the beginning where the chain twos are, right? And then as it goes up, you can see, you know, the different looks of the different techniques that I teach, to give it a straighter, nicer looking edge. Okay, and then this one is the double crochet. Again, you start off with the traditional chain 3, and that counts as the first stitch, and then I go a couple different techniques, and you can see how they all kind of change, and I just put a little line through here. Hello, Mighty Pen, the one Mighty Pen. So you can see I just have these little lines through here to separate each of the different techniques. And so, you know, with the class, and again, I'll do this if I put it online, I have the pattern for this swatch. So it tells you how to do it this way, and then this way, and then this way, and then this way. And I have tutorials for various things that I do to create the different starts of each of these rows. So these are just some of the tutorials for that one. The tips and techniques for professional looking crochet. We also talk about like blocking and gauge and all of that sort of stuff. And then let's see, I have this little bin of samples here that I know has some of the old samples. I'm going to remake some for my triangles class. So I'm teaching a class. Let me pop over to here. The third class I'm teaching is one on triangles. It's like triangles every which way, which is how to make a crochet, how to crochet a triangle starting in different directions. And so I'll show you some of the old samples I have, and then how to change the stitch patterns in them. And that really helps for a lot of people use triangles, obviously, for making wraps and such. And so you get a good idea of how to substitute stitches, and a really good idea of kind of the geometry of crochet. So there's a lot of fun information in there, in addition to just learning how to do triangles, which gives you a whole lot of shawl options. So I'll show you some of those, some of the old samples that I have for this one. This is obviously just a double crochet starting from the top center and working out, right? Okay, let's see. This one is, here, let me find. This is double crochet bottom up. So I'm counting this as the bottom, the point is the bottom. So this is double crochet starting from the bottom and working up. This one is double crochet starting from the top and working down. All right. This one is top corner to opposite side and double crochet. So it would be starting from here and working out to the side. So that gets bigger as you go. I always love the ones that get bigger as you go. So like this one that says top down, it gets smaller as you go. I love it when they get bigger as you go, because then if you have a limited amount of yarn, or if you just want to see like how big it's going to be, and stop when it's a size that you like, that's always, to me, that's what I prefer. That's my preference. Let's see, hold on, there's more. This one is side to corner. Side to corner in trebles. So this is, yeah, I did this one in treble crochet, and it's from the side to the corner. All right, like that. Here we go. Here is, so this is one of the, when you learn the different, how to replace the stitches. So if you do the center top out, like this one was, right? Center top out. Okay. You're taking that, how to make your triangle in that manner, and you're changing out the stitches. This is a trellis stitch. So you're changing out the stitches. You're just using the same technique of, where the increases are and how to do the increases are. And you're just, instead of changing the double crochets, and kind of give you some tips on how to replace those in a way that actually you can still get your shape the way you want it. So that's what that one is. What's this? This is a single crochet from the bottom up. All right, I do all of them in single, and so in the patterns I have them all in single and double. I have just like a basic pattern for all of the different techniques in both single and double. Let's see, this is center top out. It's just when I made the set in this color. I might actually be able to use the set that's in this color. I might not have to make new samples. I didn't realize I had this many. Side to opposite corner. So this one starts here and goes to the corner in double crochet. That's the one I also had shown you in treble crochet. I was like, I know I have them all at least in double crochet in this color. Is that all of the ones in that color? No, there's still one more in that color. What is it? This one is from the bottom, the two sides that connect to the 90-degree angle. So these two sides, this is where you start this, okay, and then it pulls in. So it's like a mitered square, only it's a mitered triangle. Okay, so it starts here is row 1, and then it gets smaller as it goes. Okay, so that's what this one is. And I think, let me see what else I have in here. I have lots of samples from various classes, but well, there's still a few more triangles. I can pull these out and we'll see what they all are. All right, I have, that is another probably from the, yeah, that one looks like it's from the top down. I've done several of those already in double crochet. This one is the mitered one in double crochet again. This one is from the corner out, and then when it was done, I gave it a little border. Oh, it looks like this one I gave a border to too. Nope, I didn't. I lied. This is from the outer edge to the corner. I mean, from the side to the corner. This one is from the top down. Yes, okay. So yeah, there's a lot of repeats in here. Like, I need to go through this and pull out different samples. And I can actually probably use the ones that I have several samples of. That's fine. It just gives me more to pass around, but I need to label them all and make sure I have at least one of everything. All right, here's another one that is where I substituted in a stitch. This is from the bottom point up. So you start here and you work your way up so it gets bigger as you go, which is one of the ways I like to do it. And this uses a V-stitch. Okay, and you can see I've given the little chart for the V-stitch, which is double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and that actually would replace 3 double crochet stitches. So there's that one, and this is from, it looks like it's from the top edge, yeah, from the top edge down, and it's a granny stitch done from the top edge down. And then here's a teeny tiny one. And it looks like the rest of my samples are other things. We have a circle, a square, a hexagon, a circle-ish, a circle, knit seed stitch, knit garter stitch, crochet, double crochet, knit with beads, ooh, crochet cables, crochet cables, and crochet cables. All right, so bin-o samples that I'm going to need to use to update all of my samples for my class, so I have like nice little matching sets for each class. That will make my life a little easier and everything well labeled. So that's what the 3 classes are going to be. And then I also, if you remember, let me pop back to me. Woohoo! If you remember, I'm also teaching at Edge, New Jersey, which is, I do some volunteer stuff there. Edge, New Jersey is a center for LGBTQ plus individuals and HIV positive individuals. And it is in northern New Jersey, in is it Parsippany? It might be Parsippany. It starts with a P, and I get the P ones all confused with each other. But if you just go to edgenj.org, you'll find it. And so I do a sit and stitch there in person once a month, and a craft class once a month. I just started this month. So this month, on the 30th, we're doing a woven mug rugs, and so here we'll pop back over to here. I made a bunch of little weaving boards because I wanted people to be able to take them home if they wanted them. We have people who are getting back on their feet after having housing issues, who are working through social services and such, and they don't. I mean, we have a variety of people, but some of the people are in a situation where they're still getting all back on their feet and everything, and so they don't have a lot. And I want them to be able to continue, like if they make the coaster and they love it, I want them to be able to pop back here. I want them to be able to make more. I want them to be able to make a whole set and everything. And I have plenty of yarn, but I just needed some weaving boards so that they could take them home. So that's what this is. It's 10 inch. The back piece is 10 inches by 5 I think I must have made it 5.5. It's 10 inches by 5.5 inches is this back piece, right? And then I cut 2 pieces that are 5.5 by 2.5, so that this empty space here is 5 inches wide, and that's the space you're going to weave inside of. And these are just little pieces of book board that I've put a notch in every 1/4 inch. So you actually, when you warp this, you go all the way around, and then you're just going to weave in here. So then when you're done, you can cut the warp right along here, and you have all that extra edge, so you can easily tie your tassels. Some of the people have like some mobility issues and stuff, and some just have more craft skills than others, and so I wanted to make sure that the ends that you had to work with once you cut was easy enough to tie into tassels. It wasn't too short, so that's why I made them this way. And then, you know, if you didn't want, if there's so many ways you can then use this, you can reuse this board in various ways. And if you want to just weave the entire length of it for something, you can always just turn it around and work on this side. And if you don't want to have the tassels, you wrap around and then down, and then wrap from like one loop down to the other loop and back. So you just wrap back and forth on the one side rather than wrapping all the way around. You know, there's various ways that you can use this. And Monica asks, what weight of yarn are we using? For this, I am using, you can use any weight, right? But we will probably be using mostly worsted and DK. You can use any weight because it'll just, even though obviously like if you're having a thicker yarn and they're all a 1/4 inch apart, then they might nearly touch each other as you're wrapping around your warp. And if you're using a really thin yarn, there's like a big space in between each one as you're wrapping your warp. Well, when you then do your weft and you're weaving back and forth, what'll happen is a worsted weight one, you might get, maybe you'll get 30 rows of weaving in here, and it looks nice. It's nice and full. Whereas as you get a lighter weight, you'll just get more and more rows, and they'll just kind of squish down a little bit more. And so it'll be okay that we haven't changed the difference of the spacing in the of the warp threads, because the weft threads will still fill in all the space. So I mean, it kind of works for any weight, but most of the yarn that I'm bringing over to Edge, that is yarn that I can donate there. It's leftovers from designs that I've made for other companies. It's all yarn that I've gotten, for free from other companies to make samples, and then I made the samples, and then there was yarn left over, whatever. So, and I'm also going to be talking to some companies about donating like some hooks and needles and stuff, because I will give them the hooks and needles so that they, again, can continue to do their thing when they're home. I did order, for this one, I ordered a bunch of just plastic needles, plastic yarn needles to do the weaving with, but because that's really the only tool I needed. And I ordered a set of like small snips. If somebody doesn't have scissors, they can keep them, but most people do at least have some scissors at home. But I wanted to have a class set of scissors. So that's what we're doing with this, is making the coasters with probably mostly DK and worsted weight yarn. So that's what that one is. And then those of you who have been here for a little bit know that I have twins, and they are freshmen in undergrad. My daughter is at SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design, majoring in sequential art, which is like comic books and storyboards, that sort of stuff. And then my son is at Bergen County Community College, which is near me. I don't actually live in Bergen County, but so we have to pay full price. But full price is still, well, especially considering what his sister's college costs, is still pretty affordable because it's a community college. And he was undeclared. He wasn't sure what he was going to major in, and so like Bergen County was perfect for him because it's a really, really good community college. It's a lot better. The one that's in our county does not compare. I mean, the one that's in our county is a perfectly acceptable community college, but Bergen County Community College is a really, really good community college. So it made sense for him to go there. We know a lot of people who've gone there. I know people who've gone there and then finished their degree at Columbia and other really good schools. They've had people. I know somebody who went and finished her degree at Columbia. They have also had people finish it off at like Yale and lots of really good schools. And so Vero is there, and he just decided last week, and he just told us a couple days ago that he wants to go into props for TV, film, theater. So that actually works really nicely with Bergen because they have a really good theater department in Bergen, even though they're only a community college. Like, it's kind of surprising. I didn't expect a community college to have a really good theater department. One of Kyla, my daughter, one of her friends had gone there and was part of the theater department there, and I was like, wow, this is a really good theater department. You don't even expect a theater department in a community college, but I guess when you're basically a commuter town to Manhattan, you get these things, right? So Vero took a class this semester on I think it was like a basic stagecraft class, like basic intro to theater, but I don't remember if it was intro to theater or intro to theater tech. It might have just been intro to theater class, and he'd done set crew for some of the shows in high school, and he always really enjoyed it. And he's always made like props and things for, like, when his sister will do cosplay things, he'll help and make like the little prop parts of it. And he'll just like randomly, whenever we have boxes before they get recycled, he'll sometimes like swipe a whole bunch of the cardboard. You go up to his room and he's got like stacks of cardboard, and he just randomly makes stuff out of it just 'cause he enjoys it. It's fun. So, so when he said he wanted to get into props, I was like, okay, that totally fits. I mean, it's, I know it's not easy to get into and everything, but we do live in a commuter town to Manhattan, and I do have some history in that, in theater and film, and some connections, and friends with more connections, and, he knows it's not going to be the easiest thing to get into, but we're going to be there and help him out, and I think he's going to do awesome in it. I really do. So, anyway, I told him there is a community theater here that is walking distance from here because he is in the process of getting his license and does not have a car. So it's our town, it's Nutley Little Theater. And so, he looked it up online. I was like, well, it was there like, 15 years ago when I did some stuff with them when he and his sister were like tiny. And I designed some costumes for some shows. I designed the costumes for some shows with them and everything back when the kids were really small. Just because I really needed to do something creative. I was like, need to do something creative. So I was like, well, if it's still around, check it out. And so he looked it up online, and it's still around, and it said, if you want more information, to come to a rehearsal. So there was a rehearsal last night. So he was going to walk over, but I was like, it's kind of cold. I'm like, I'll give you a ride. So I drove him over, and then I was like, I'm coming in with you because I'm not sitting in the car because it's cold. Right? I'm like, you do your thing, but I'm coming inside because I don't want to sit in the car and be cold. So he went inside, and he got to meet some people and everything, and the lady who was at the front when we went in, she said something about trying to figure out how to make this the skirt for in front of the dish, the sink, and I was like, I can do that for you. And she's like, you know how to sew? And Vero just laughs. And I'm like, I used to be a professional costume designer. And she's like, you know how to sew? I'm like, yes. It's like, I actually designed some costumes for you guys years ago. So Vero was doing his whole props thing and talking to the director and everything. And the one lady, Donna, showed me what needed to be fixed. And then it was like, they were like, do you want to stay? And I said, well, you know, I had some things I had to get done. And Donna said, well, if Vero wants to stay, we can give him a ride home. So I said, you want to stay? He's like, yeah. So he stayed. I was like, that's perfect. I was like, because she didn't want it. She wanted the curtain, the skirt that she had made to be there for the rehearsal. I was like, that's great. You can just send him home you can just give him the skirt when he comes home, and I can fix it for you. So this is what she had, which is like, it's theater ingenuity, and I love it. Like, she had this curtain, right? And so it was hanging underneath. They're getting a tension rod to put in there, but like, it's an actual curtain that she just used white gaff tape to fold it, to hang it up, and then white gaff tape to hem it. And the thing was, like, I mean, you know, don't laugh, because dude, when this was hung up, it looked good. And she was smart enough to use the white, right? I mean, like, really, that was a smart move. I love theater ingenuity. Because from the audience, which was like right in front of the stage, because it's just a little black box theater, it looked good. It really did. Now, it's going to look better when I'm done, because I'm going to cut this part off that has all of these things that are making it stiffer. I'm going to give it a nice little run for the rod, and I'm going to, you know, hem it properly and all of that, and give it a press and everything. But dude, no, I mean, like, it looked good. It totally would have worked. She was like, it's gonna fall apart, and I'm thinking, you know what, it probably wouldn't. I will still redo it for you, because it will take me all of like half an hour. But you know, this is what I'm thinking. I was like, I just told her, I was like, it's fine. I'm like, I will happily fix it, but I love the way that you did it. It totally would have worked. But you know, I'm like thinking to myself, dude, that totally would have worked. Like, she should not have been ashamed about anything, man, because that would have worked. But she wanted it all done and made pretty, so I can totally do it, make it pretty. And then next time when Vero has a rehearsal, I think on Saturdays, the next time they have a rehearsal, so I'll just send it with him then, right? So there is that. I'm going to take like all of half an hour today or tomorrow and hem it up so that I get it all sewn together for them. But Vero, when he came home yesterday, he had such a fun time. I love it. Hold on. Oh, Monique asks if I'm still designing costumes for theater. Not so much anymore, but I mean, like, I love it. It's never going to leave my heart, right? So I think, like, you know, especially if Vero gets really involved with the Nutley Little Theater, I'll probably, you know, there's it's like $30 membership for the full year, because it's all volunteer and it's a nonprofit. So they, you know, they make enough. I think it's a nonprofit. I'm almost positive it's a nonprofit, but I remember that I remember when I did stuff with them, it's all on a volunteer basis, and the budgets are very minimal for the shows, because it's what they make from selling the memberships and from selling the tickets to the show. And I'd be shocked if they have 100 seats in there, you know. But it's so, you know, but yeah, so the membership for the full year is like $30. So I was like, okay, well, I'll pay for us both to have a membership, because you're supposed to have a membership to do anything with the show anyway. Although if you're like, they're not going to make me get a membership in order to fix something for them, you know. But I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it anyway. But it also gives you like a vote. You can go to the member meetings and you have votes on things and everything like that. So, you know, I'll probably go ahead and join that, and just be there for when they need something. You know, I don't think I'm going to, at least for now, who knows, maybe later on, once the kids are really both out of the house and everything, I might go back to doing some designing for them or something. But for now, I think what I'll do, is, Vera's working on a show or whatever, if they're doing a show and they just need, hey, can you, help out with this? Can you come in and mark and hem all the pants? Something like, whatever. Because a lot of them, they kind of provide their own costumes, and they try to do shows where they can provide their own costumes. Like when one of the shows I designed for them was Beckett, which is, takes place in the Middle Ages. So I already had a stock of costumes for that, and people I could borrow costumes from who were other sizes. And then then what I did was there were a couple people who were the same size as Doug or I, so I could make things from scratch for those that were then mine afterwards. And for those, I paid for the fabric. For things like the belts and the crowns and everything, I paid for the supplies. I made them for the show, and then after the show, they belonged to me. For the things that I had to make that I didn't have somebody in that size to keep it afterwards, that fabric was bought from the budget for the show, and I made them, and it stayed at the theater. So that was how we were able to actually stay in the budget that they had, because like building even that show, which doesn't have a huge cast and a lot of costume changes, to build that, all those costumes would have been more than what they had the budget for. So, but they don't usually do a show that requires something like that. Usually the shows, people can pull their costumes out of their wardrobe or go thrift them or something like that, But I figure I'll just, if they need something and it's not a lot, I'm happy to do it. It gives me, the opportunity to kind of still do a little bit of theater, without a whole lot of time and everything, which I don't have a whole lot of right now anyway. So that's where we are. Let me look at the time. 12:52. Awesome sauce. All right. So just to recap, if you check out the description in the YouTube video description, you will see the link for the Fiber and Fabric Craft Festival for the Stitching Help Lounge. I think the link goes to the Stitching Help Lounge, which is the description of what the Stitching Help Lounge is. But there's a link there where you can get a free weekend pass, free tickets for the weekend to the expo, the Fiber and Fabric Craft Festival. So you can get into the expo floor, where like the marketplace where everything is. You get in there for free. If you want to take classes like mine, or somebody else's, but mine, those you have to pay for separately. But you can get in. That link will at least get you free tickets to the show floor, it's in Rosemont Convention Center, which is really close to O'Hare Airport in Chicago. So it's a Chicago show. You can do all of that. And then what else did I link in there? I just told you about the classes. And always you can, let me just pop over here real quick to show you. There are plenty of tutorials and such on my site that don't require for you to go anywhere, don't require you going anywhere. So this is the main navigation menu on my website, right? Here we go. Here's the main navigation menu on my website. And if you're on a mobile device, there's the little hamburger menu over here. It's just those 3 lines, and you have to click that, and then it'll drop down the menu down the side, okay? So you can, if you go under Stitchopedia, crochet, this is a whole bunch of crochet tutorials. Stitchopedia knit, here's a whole bunch of knit tutorials. Okay, patterns, I have crochet patterns, I have knit patterns. They're also all in Ravelry. Over here, a good number of them are on Etsy, but they're all over on Ravelry as well. And then craft tutorials, I have some crickets, some drawing, hair accessories, macrame and knotting. I have a lot of origami, painting and drawing, sewing, sublimation, weaving, and woodworking. So I have some various tutorials there. So there's a whole lot of class kind of things for you. Other features, merchandise, that's always fun. Here, we'll open this one up. And then this just will take you to the blog. And of course, events over here is where you find out what's going on, you know, when our live streams are. So here, so this is the blog, and it's just by the most recent thing. I really need to put up some new stuff. I've been doing so much stuff, I haven't put up a whole lot of new blog posts, and I really need to. But the events calendar is great, and it's just going to take a second to open up. While it's doing that, we'll pop over. This was what happened when I clicked on merchandise. So here are a whole bunch of different fun merchandise items you can get. So what I've done is I've just chosen a different item for each of the designs to show you what the different designs are. But if you click on that, well, first of all, you can sort by different things over here, by different kinds of products. But over here in the albums, it'll help you sort by design. So I have some designs with a black woman. These and all these illustrations are drawn. Most of them are drawn by my daughter. This set of craft illustrations are drawn by a friend's daughter. And then my yarn is organized and my craft is organized illustrations. I made the signs and put them together. But these yarn balls were drawn by my daughter, and these craft supplies were drawn by my friend's daughter. And this yarn is how I roll. That yarn was also drawn by my friend's daughter. The rest of them were drawn by my daughter. So you can choose designs with a white woman, with a brown woman, with an Asian woman, with an NB person, non-binary, with a white person, and designs with no people at all. So say you want to pick on the designs with an Asian woman, then you can go like this, and it'll show you. Here we go. We've got, if I'm not going if I can't take my yarn. We've got that with black text, and we've got it with white text, because if you want a dark color shirt, you want it with white text. If you want dark on a dark background, you want white text. If you want it on a light background, you want the black text. And then we've got so I'm not going if I can't take my yarn, and yarn is my love language. And then from anywhere on here, okay, if you choose something, okay, so if I choose this, when you scroll down, you can see it'll show you all the different products you can get with this specific design. The yarn is my love language with the Asian woman and the white text. So it says more love language Asian white text, because that's how it's categorized. And you can just go through, and this says featured adult apparel, kids apparel, accessories, home goods. So you can see like home goods. Oh look, I can get a mug, I can get wall art, I can get a pillow. Accessories. Here's all the various things you can get for accessories. I like the tote bags. Kids apparel, and adult apparel, socks, and the featured items. So lots of options here, and that's all in the merchandise. And there's the blog, which never opened up the events page. There we go. So here you go. When you click on events, it will give you the calendar. It will give you the current month, and you can see we are, today is the 18th. So here we are, lunch with Jessie, and then you can see that from 6 to 8 Eastern, it has the virtual sit and stitch, evening live virtual sit and stitch. If you click on it, it gives you all of this information. You can add it to your calendar, whatever kind of calendar you have. You can just register here. You can register down here. Once you've registered through Zoom, it'll have everything in your time zone, but I believe up until then it stays in the time zone I typed it in. All right, so there you go. I hope to see you all in what time? 5 hours? Yeah, it's 12:59. So I hope to see a bunch of you in 5 hours. And remember, if you have any products where you have, hold on, let me go back to here. Ta-da! If you have any crafts, especially knit or crochet, but honestly, just about anything, where you're stuck or you need advice, or you're like, this one or that one, should I do this color or that color? Should I make it bigger? Should I make it smaller? Or, hey, look what I made, aren't I awesome? Then come over to the Sit and Stitch. It's come and go as you please. We're a very welcoming, happy community. We love having new people around, and it's easy, it's low stress, it's fun, it's great for your mental health, it's great for your ego, because we're going to tell you how awesome you are. And if you want help, we're going to give you the help that you need, you know. And if you're like, okay, be honest, I want to know where can it improve, we're going to tell you where it's awesome, and we're going to tell you where it can improve if that's what you want to know. And we're not only going to say it could be improved here, we're going to say, here are some suggestions for how you could improve it there. But I try to encourage people to point out the positive, stick with that, and then if people want to know where they can improve, they can ask that question, and so that way, you know, you don't have to worry about, you know, judging or whatever. And it's so easy to find the positive in things. It really is, because everything you've made, guys, even if it's the very first time you've crocheted something and the edges are all wonky like this, you know, we're still going to be like, oh my God, you made an entire scarf. It's the first thing you made, and you made an entire scarf. And you'll be like, oh, but the edges are wonky. And we'll be like, yeah, but do you know how many people don't make it to the end of an entire scarf for their first project? And look how much the edges have started to straighten up by the end. And would you like some advice on how to get those edges straight? And if you say yes, we'll be like, okay, well then here you go. So, you know, come on by. I always leave them feeling refreshed and happy and energized. And, you know, I've been crocheting since I was 8 and I'm nearly 50. I've been knitting since I was like 24. I've been doing every kind of craft imaginable like my whole life. And, I still learn things from people at the Sit and Stitches. Somebody will come in and give some tip or whatever, and I'll be like, dude, how did I not know that? You know, and it's awesome. It's so fun. Monique agrees. It's an amazing community. All right, guys, I'm going to get going. So hopefully I will see a bunch of you in like 5 hours. Now, I believe, yeah, I need to find my end stream. Is way over here on this screen that's hiding. So I will see y'all later. Bye-bye.